The annual Thompson family dinner was going exactly as expected. My sister Amanda adjusted her Cartier bracelet while regaling everyone with stories about her latest merger. My brother Michael humblebragged about his hedge fund's performance. And I stood in my chef's whites, personally plating their meals because my sous chef had called in sick. "Still waiting tables, Sarah?" Amanda smirked, eyeing my uniform with that familiar mix of pity and superiority. "You know, Michael's firm is always hiring administrative assistants." I carefully placed her perfectly seared duck breast on the table, garnished with microgreens I'd grown in my own rooftop garden. "Actually, Honey," Mom interrupted, her voice dripping with concern, "you're 32. Don't you think it's time for a real career? Your father could make some calls." Dad adjusted his Rolex, the same one he'd gotten for making partner at his law firm. "The Robinson firm is looking for paralegals. Better late than never to join the family business." I bit back a response and continued serving. They never bothered to ask why I'd chosen this cheap restaurant as our meeting spot. Never questioned why the maitre d' treated me with such deference. Never even looked at the name above the door. The kitchen door swung open. "Chef, the new sommelier needs your approval on the wine pairing for tonight's tasting menu." Amanda nearly choked on her duck. "Chef." Before I could respond, another figure entered the dining room. The entire restaurant fell silent. "Bloody hell, Sarah, there you are." Gordon Ramsay's distinctive voice carried across the space. "Just got off the phone with Jean-Luc. Your restaurant empire is expanding to Paris. They're practically begging for your signature on the contract." My father's fork clattered to his plate. "Restaurant empire?" Gordon clasped my shoulder. "Your daughter's the most innovative chef I've seen in decades. 3 Michelin stars in 2 years? Bloody brilliant." 3 Michelin. Michael's voice went weak. "Speaking of which," Gordon continued, "that duck breast technique you developed? Changed the game. Mind if I use it in my London location?" Amanda's Cartier bracelet clinked against her water glass as her hand trembled. "You're asking her permission?" I smiled, savoring the moment like a perfectly aged wine. "The technique is yours, Gordon. Just credit Thompson Culinary Innovations on the menu." "Thompson." Mom's eyes finally drifted to the elegant sign above the kitchen. "This is your restaurant." "This one is," I agreed. "Along with the others in New York, Tokyo, and soon Paris." "But you never said." Dad's legal training failed him as words escaped. "You never asked." I nodded to my staff. "Please ensure my family receives the full tasting menu. The one that earned us our 3rd star. Gordon, shall we discuss the Paris location?" "Lead the way, chef." As we headed toward my office, I heard Amanda's shaky whisper, "How much does a 3-star Michelin restaurant make?" Michael's response was equally stunned, "More than my entire hedge fund." Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with perfect plating and a side of Michelin stars. I led Gordon through my state-of-the-art kitchen, where my team of 30 elite chefs worked with military precision. The gleaming copper pots, imported from France, hung above custom induction ranges that cost more than my sister's Mercedes. Every surface sparkled under professional lighting designed to make food look as extraordinary as it tasted. "Your wine cellar expansion is bloody brilliant," Gordon commented, nodding at the digital inventory system I'd pioneered. "Converting that old bank vault into temperature-controlled storage? Genius." Through the kitchen's observation window, I could see my family still frozen at their table, smartphones out, frantically Googling my name. Mom's perfectly maintained composure cracked as headlines probably filled her screen. "Thompson named world's best female chef. Culinary empire expands to Asia. Revolutionary chef changes fine dining landscape." Speaking of wine, I turned to my sommelier. "Jean, please send up the 82 Lafite Rothschild to my family's table. The one they offered me $200,000 for." "The bottle you refused to sell to that Saudi prince?" Jean asked, smiling knowingly. "Sometimes family deserves the best," I replied, watching Dad's eyes widen as the $300,000 bottle was presented with perfect ceremony. Even when they least expect it. The kitchen door swung open. My brother Michael burst in, his hedge fund confidence completely shattered. "Sarah, is that really a signed partnership contract with Gordon Ramsay on your office wall?" "Actually," Gordon interjected, "I'm the junior partner in this venture." Your sister's innovations have revolutionized the industry. That sous vide technique she developed changed everything. Michael's expensive tie suddenly felt too tight. Junior partner? Chef, my executive assistant interrupted. The representatives from Netflix are here about the cooking show. And Bloomberg wants to update your net worth for their billionaire index. Billionaire. Michael swayed slightly. I adjusted my chef's whites, custom designed, though my family probably thought they were standard uniform. The Paris location needs attention first. The show can wait. But the Queen's personal chef requested your mentorship, my assistant persisted. Said it's rather urgent. Through the window I saw Amanda drop her phone. Mom reached for her water with shaking hands. Dad seemed to be mentally recalculating every dismissive comment he'd ever made about my career choice. Remember that Christmas dinner 5 years ago? I asked Michael. When you all laughed because I was just a cook, while you discussed stock portfolios? He nodded weakly. I just signed the lease on this building. Paid cash. The same night you were bragging about making partner, I was finalizing plans for my Tokyo location. Gordon checked his watch. Sarah, we should discuss the Paris menu. That technique you're developing with the black truffles. The one that drove the price to $8,000 per pound? I smiled. Yes, let's discuss that. Michael, would you excuse us? Business matters. Business. He echoed faintly. Dad always said you were bad with money. No, I corrected him. Dad said I didn't understand value. He was wrong. I just understood it differently. The door to my private office opened, revealing walls lined with awards, magazine covers, and yes, that framed contract with Gordon Ramsay. A contract where his name appeared below mine. Chef, my assistant called again. The Emirates royal family is on line 1 about their private dinner request. Michael's knees finally gave out. He sank into a kitchen chair, watching my team execute dinner service with flawless precision. Should I have the car bring your family home? I asked. The tasting menu can be quite overwhelming for first-timers. We can't just leave, he protested weakly. There are so many questions. Of course, I agreed. But I have an empire to run. Perhaps we can discuss it at next year's family dinner? I'm thinking. Tokyo location. Through the kitchen's second window, I spotted Amanda dabbing her eyes with a napkin worth more than her monthly salary, though she didn't know that yet. Each napkin in my restaurant was hand-woven silk, custom-made by artisans in Kyoto. Just like everything else in my empire, every detail was perfectly calculated. Your sister's trying to make a reservation for her law firm's partnership dinner, my hostess whispered, hiding a smile. I informed her we're booked solid for the next 8 months. Tell her I might make an exception, I replied, loud enough for Michael to hear. If she doesn't mind the private dining room minimum. What is it now, $50,000 per evening? Michael's designer watch caught the light as he gripped the kitchen counter. That's more than my quarterly bonus. The caviar supplement alone is $800 per person, Gordon added, clearly enjoying the show. Your sister's innovative sourcing changed the market. Even the Russian oligarchs have to go through her now. The kitchen buzzed with activity as the evening service peaked. My team moved like a choreographed dance, each chef executing their roles with precision I'd drilled into them personally. The sound of sizzling pans and calling orders created a symphony I'd grown to love more than any classical music Mom had forced me to learn. Chef, my pastry chef called out, the gold leaf soufflés for table 7 are ready. Actual gold? Michael asked weakly. 24 karat, I confirmed. We go through about 1 kilogram a week. Dad always said I was wasteful with resources. Funny how perspective changes. The door swung open again. This time Dad stood there, his legal confidence completely evaporated. He stared at the kitchen, my kitchen, like he was seeing it for the first time. The truffles you just ate? I told him, noting his empty plate through the window. They're from my private forest in Italy. The one I bought last year when Amanda was bragging about her summer cottage. Forest. Dad's voice cracked. Next to the vineyard, Gordon added helpfully. Bloody brilliant investment, that one. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom. Darling, we need to talk about the family trust. Ah yes, I smiled, showing the message to Michael. About that trust you all thought I was too irresponsible to manage? I declined my portion. donated it to culinary schools for underprivileged kids. But that was $3 million. Michael sputtered. My sauce recipe for the duck you just ate? Licensed it for $5 million last month. I adjusted my chef's coat. Per region. The kitchen door swung open again. Chef, the Saudi prince is on the line again about buying the restaurant. Tell him what I told the Emirates royal family, I replied. Thompson restaurants aren't for sale. At any price. Dad's knees finally gave out. He sank onto a kitchen stool, watching as my team executed another perfect service. Through the window, I could see Mom frantically typing on her phone, probably trying to calculate exactly how much her disappointment of a daughter was worth now. Gordon, I turned to my mentor-turned-partner. Shall we discuss the Paris menu? I'm thinking of something revolutionary. Lead the way, chef, he grinned. Though after that duck technique, I'm not sure how you'll top yourself. I paused at my office door, looking back at my shattered family. Oh, and Michael, that hedge fund you're so proud of? Check who owns controlling shares. I believe you'll find some interesting Thompson Culinary Holdings paperwork. The sound of his shocked gasp was drowned out by the perfect symphony of my kitchen, the empire I'd built while they were too busy mocking me to notice. The next morning, my family arrived at the restaurant before opening hours, exactly as I'd expected. They'd probably spent the night Googling my empire, calculating my worth, and realizing just how monumentally they'd misjudged their wayward daughter. I watched them through my office's one-way glass. Mom in a different designer outfit, Dad clutching a folder of what looked like investment proposals, Amanda and Michael both trying to hide their desperation behind forced smiles. Your family's here, my assistant noted, bringing in my morning reports. Again. How many messages did they leave overnight? 47 calls, 93 texts, and Amanda tried to connect on LinkedIn. She paused. She also updated her profile to mention you're her sister. I sipped my $900 Japanese coffee, beans harvested by monks under moonlight. And the press. Forbes wants an exclusive on your net worth. Bloomberg's running a special on your empire. Oh, and Dragon's Den called. They want you as their first trillion-dollar guest judge. The morning sun caught the edge of my newest acquisition contract. The one about to shake the culinary world to its core. Below, my family shifted nervously in the empty restaurant, surrounded by evidence of my success. Each chair worth more than their monthly mortgage payments. Should I let them up? My assistant asked. Not yet. Let's wait for the morning news. Right on cue, the restaurant's hidden screens flickered to life with breaking news. Thompson Culinary Holdings acquires global luxury restaurant group for $8.2 billion. Dad's investment folder slipped from his fingers. Michael's phone clattered to the marble floor. That's. Amanda's voice carried through the security feed. That's the parent company of all our favorite restaurants. Including, I finally spoke, stepping out of the elevator, that overpriced steakhouse where you all celebrated Michael's promotion last month. The one where you toasted to real careers and proper success.